There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good Obercabe and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles.
So now we have black entrepreneurs, and I don't mean to cut you off. Now we have black entrepreneurs or black, companies that recognize that, and Hollywood has had to come together and be a part of sort of, the movement and because they understand we bring a lot of money.
Larenz Tate didn't fall off. He disappeared, not because of scandal, not because he lost talent, but because he said, no, this is a story Hollywood doesn't want told, because it's not just about Larenz. It's about what happens when a black man refuses to be a puppet in an industry built on control. And Katt Williams? He's been trying to warn us for years, but most people weren't listening. Until now, Katt Williams has never been afraid to say the quiet part out loud. While most actors play the game, smile for the cameras, and collect their checks, Katt's been on the front lines, exposing the darker truths of an industry that rewards obedience, not authenticity. According to him, Hollywood doesn't just prefer fake personalities, it requires them. And if you've got principles, if you stand for something real, well, that's exactly what makes you a threat. In interview after interview, Katt has dropped cryptic but consistent warnings. He's called out the gatekeepers, the hidden figures pulling strings from behind the scenes. Not producers or directors. We're talking about powerful elites who control which faces make it to your screen and which ones vanish without explanation. He's said it before, and he said it clearly. Hollywood doesn't like real ones. It likes puppets, people they can control. And the price of not playing along: isolation, censorship, blacklisting, or worse, being completely erased from the spotlight like you never existed. But let's be honest, for years people brushed Katt off. They laughed, called him bitter, said he was spiraling. But as time passes and the industry's patterns become clearer, a strange thing is happening. His stories are starting to make sense, especially when you look at what happened to actors like Larenz Tate. Because Larenz didn't fall from grace. He didn't get caught in scandal or controversy. He didn't embarrass himself or the culture. He simply disappeared. Quietly, suddenly, without a sound. And if you connect the dots Katt has been laying out, it becomes painfully obvious. Larenz might not have played the role Hollywood wrote for him. And when you refuse to be molded, when you choose your dignity over a paycheck, this industry doesn't fight you, it just forgets you. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. To understand how Larenz went from the face of black cinema to a shadow, we have to start at the peak. The moment he had Hollywood in the palm of his hand. Back in the 90s, Larenz Tate wasn't just another actor. He was the moment. Every time he stepped on screen, he didn't just act, he commanded attention. Whether he was playing a trigger-happy gang member, a wounded war vet, or a smooth-talking poet, there was one thing you could always count on. He'd steal the entire show. His breakout role in Menace II Society hit different. He played O-Dog, a cold-blooded teenager who didn't flinch at violence. And yet, somehow, Larenz made that character feel heartbreakingly human. It was raw, unfiltered. He was young, but he didn't look like he was acting. He looked like he was that character. Hollywood noticed. So did the culture. Then came Dead Presidents. And this wasn't just a movie, it was a statement. As Anthony Curtis, a Vietnam vet turned desperate criminal, Larenz proved he had range. Pain, rage, loyalty, heartbreak. He gave it all without ever going over the top. Critics praised him, fans embraced him, and his peers respected him. And just when people thought he might be typecast in gritty street roles, he flipped the script. In Love Jones, he wasn't angry. He wasn't violent. He was soulful, romantic, magnetic. As Darius Lovehall, he gave black love a new face. Intelligent, artistic, cool without trying. Women adored him. Men respected him. And for a moment, Larenz Tate looked like the future of black Hollywood. Not just another actor, but a symbol of what was possible. There were no tabloid scandals, no public breakdowns, no viral controversies. He kept it low-key, focused on his craft, and stayed far away from the drama that swallowed so many others. He had the rare combo, talent, discipline, and a clean image. The industry usually eats that up, right? So why, at the height of his career, when it seemed like nothing could stop him, did everything suddenly go quiet? There was no official announcement, no dramatic fall from grace, just silence. One day he was everywhere, posters, red carpets, magazine covers. The next, gone. The offers dried up. The leading roles stopped. And Hollywood, that same industry that once couldn't get enough of him, acted like he never existed. That's the part that doesn't sit right. Usually when an actor fades, there's a story. Rehab, arrest, scandal, something. But Larenz, there was nothing. No public blow-up. No career-ending mistake. Just a slow, quiet fade into the background. And the only logical explanation is the one no one wants to admit. He didn't fall, he might have walked away, or worse, he might have been shut out. But what exactly would make Hollywood turn its back on a clean-cut, talented black actor in his prime? Well, that's where things start to get uncomfortable. Most careers in Hollywood end with a bang. Someone says something offensive, lands in court, spirals into addiction, or just burns every bridge in sight. But with Larenz Tate, there was no explosion, just silence. He didn't crash out, he faded. No headlines, no chaos, no comeback interviews. It was like someone muted him without warning. And the more you think about it, the more unsettling it becomes. This wasn't just another actor losing momentum. This was Larenz Tate, a proven box office draw, a respected talent, a fan favorite, and he was just gone. It didn't make sense. Unless, of course, you start connecting the dots that Katt Williams has been laying down for years. According to Katt, Hollywood doesn't just hand you fame. It tests you, pushes you, breaks you. Before you get through that final door, there's always a price. And for many, that price comes in the form of humiliation disguised as opportunity. One of the most consistent patterns Katt has called out: the cross-dressing joke, roles handed to black male actors. Not just once, but repeatedly. To Katt, this isn't comedy, it's ritual, a loyalty test, a signal of submission. And guess who allegedly said no to that kind of role? Larenz Tate. Rumors have floated for years that he turned down roles he felt were disrespectful, stereotypical, and beneath his purpose. He wasn't interested in putting on a dress to get a laugh. He wasn't chasing fame so badly he'd throw away his dignity. But in Hollywood, saying no too many times comes with consequences. When you're not willing to play the game, they simply stop inviting you to the table. And what's worse, the public never hears the why. They just assume you disappeared because you weren't good enough, not because you had the courage to say no. Katt Williams has always insisted that the dress isn't the point. It's just a symbol, part of something bigger. He said it many times. They test you. They want to see how far you'll go, what you'll compromise, who you'll become to stay in the room. He's even connected this to darker spiritual ideas, Baphomet worship, secret societies, and rituals meant to strip people of their personal power before elevating them in the system. Now, whether you believe that or not, one thing is hard to deny. There's a pattern. The ones who obey get rewarded. The ones who resist vanish. Larenz may have gotten to that door, the one every actor dreams of, and chosen to walk away instead of surrendering his soul to get through it. And that decision, that quiet refusal, might have cost him everything. But it wasn't just the roles Larenz turned down. It was also the truth he started speaking. In interviews, Larenz didn't shy away from talking about something most black actors are taught to avoid: the pay gap. Despite having the same talent, the same audience, and often the same box office draw, black actors, especially men, are paid a fraction of what their white counterparts receive. Larenz didn't just say it once. He kept saying it, that the budgets were smaller, that the resources weren't equal, that the respect just wasn't there. Hollywood doesn't like that. Just ask Taraji P. Henson or Monique. The second they spoke out, the media flipped on them. They were labeled difficult, ungrateful, hard to work with, while white actors negotiating for millions were called savvy and empowered. Larenz didn't cause a scene. He didn't throw tantrums, but he made one critical mistake in the eyes of the system. He told the truth, and Larenz went deeper. He didn't just criticize pay, he called out the structure. He questioned who had power behind the scenes, who was choosing the stories, Who was approving the budgets? Who controlled what we see? Because here's the truth. Putting a black face on a poster doesn't mean progress if a white boardroom is still calling the shots. Larenz understood that representation without ownership is just decoration. If we're not the gatekeepers, we're still guests, and guests can be asked to leave at any time. And when he started to talk about that, that's when the offers dried up. The press stopped calling. The spotlight moved on. Larenz Tate didn't explode. He didn't burn out. He didn't mess up. He just got too real. He didn't want to play the clown. He didn't want to sell trauma. He didn't want to smile for the system while it underpaid him and disrespected his worth. And so they erased him. No smear campaign. No scandal. Just a quiet cancellation. A slow freeze out. They didn't need to destroy him. They just stopped mentioning him. Because when someone's too clean to drag through the mud, but too strong to manipulate, that's when they become a problem. The story of Larenz Tate isn't about a man who failed. It's about a man who refused. He refused to humiliate himself for fame. He refused to chase roles that mocked his culture. He refused to stay silent about injustice. And most of all, he refused to sell out. So Hollywood did what it always does to those it can't control. It shut the door quietly and acted like he was never there. But the truth has a way of surfacing. And with Katt Williams now saying Larenz was one of the real ones, people are finally starting to put the pieces together. Larenz Tate didn't fall off. He walked away. So what do you think really happened? Did Larenz say no to the rituals Katt warned us about? Was it about money, power, or something even deeper? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't miss what's coming next.